What's up, guys? Tony the GM with another quarterback video. How to identify a bust. I'm going to start with the 21 draft. I hit everyone. Jones, Mac Jones. Okay. First of all, you don't draft a quarterback off a fully supported team. He was throwing to Smith, to Waddle, to Mechie. He had Harris and he had Robinson, the running back. Two running backs on that team. He had Ruckert also? No, that's Ohio State. Okay. He's a seed thrower quarterback. He does have a little bit of arm talent, doesn't have huge arm strength. Okay. I had him down as a third or fourth round pick. He's been bouncing around the league a little bit. I think I hit that one. Now we're going to get to actually why the NFL fails on drafting quarterbacks, guys. Quarterback 2 of that year, Justin Fields. I had him as a late round project, okay? We'll start with this, okay? Wilson, Olave, Ruckert, Najigba, and Harrison. Okay, enough said. Pro offensive line, great scheme. See it throw a quarterback, can't process, can't read defenses. He's staring at pro wide open wide receivers now and scared to make the throw. He only had a toolbox, guys. He was overdrafted by 5-6 rounds easily. I called this before pre-draft. Okay, what did I learn? I'll be honest. I'm not touching an Ohio State, Oregon Duck quarterback, Alabama quarterback at all. Okay, win-loss doesn't count. Statistics don't count. You need to look at certain things from a quarterback. Now, if you follow what I say, you're going to eliminate most of your busts over the course of the year. We're going to go to arm strength, guys. Okay? There are a handful of quarterbacks 6'1" and under that made it in the pros with weaker arms. Breeze and Dalton, a little bit of Purdy now. Breeze is an outlier. Purdy is a perfect scheme, perfect system in place. Just don't draft them, guys. Okay? Plus arm strength, 6 foot and under. You have a couple. Rodgers comes to mind off the bat. Mayfield a little, right? You need to shop in that area code if it's 6'1" or under, guys. That will eliminate the majority of the misses. Okay? 6'3" and over. It's the same thing. Lesser arm strength quarterbacks, there is an issue with that also. You know, you have Matt Ryan, you had Pennington. They didn't have huge arms. They are few and far between. Burrow is an outlier now. He doesn't have a huge arm. Okay. This by itself eliminates the most of the buzz. Trey Lance, absolute miss. This is as clear as day. Okay. He played North Dakota State. He played on a team that had basically a pro-level offensive line compared to the opposition. He had a pro wide receiver. He only did two things. He ran the ball and he hit verticals. And stride verticals, guys. He was as raw as could be. What did you learn? You do not draft a toolbox, guys, in the first round. You don't. Okay, this is exactly what you get against lower competition. He's a great athlete. Okay, you can't blame the quarterback, right? He got paid, but he needed years for development to begin with. Now, not all quarterbacks will make it, guys. Okay, this is what he did all day long in North Dakota State. This was one of the worst overdrafts of the past who knows how many years. I was totally out on Lance, and this is exactly why, guys. This is his film. That's all you saw. He didn't have any type of route tree. He wasn't following progressions. All he did is drop back and wait for his guy to outrun everybody. Okay? One of the easiest bus calls I ever had. Now, follow that up with Anthony Richardson, okay? Kid played a handful of games. They drafted a toolbox. I'm not giving up on Richardson because he only played a handful of games, but he was overdrafted by 5 rounds, guys. Now, what did the NFL learn? Taylor Green had a huge toolbox also. He also has huge mechanical issues. He's someone I'm running to the podium for in the 3rd, 4th round. Processing might be an issue, but the advanced tool set and, he's a humble kid, good kid that wants to learn. You put a draft pick on the kid. But he was as draftable as Lance and Richardson, guys. Okay? Don't draft just the toolbox, guys. Zach Wilson. This was the biggest mistake of the last who knows how many years at quarterback. Okay, you see this play? They show it to you a million times over and over on his draft, showing what he could do. They showed the same 4 or 5 plays consistently, guys. Okay? He was the most overhyped prospect that had 0 reasons for being hyped. The kid was horrible the previous year. He played in a COVID year behind basically, again, a pro offensive line compared to the opposition. His receivers were exponentially better than the competition. The kid only ran 3 types of passes, okay? Everything was consistently the same thing. Back shoulder throws, stationary routes, and short verticals, okay, of this length. That was probably his longest up the sideline in his entire career, okay? That throw right there, I believe, was 24 air yards. I want you to go look at Zach Wilson in the pros. Go look at every touchdown past 10 yards and see what you see. How many of them travel past 10 yards? How many of them were schemed plays? He had 1 schemed touchdown past 10 yards from scrimmage in his career. And you see that play right there? They showed it to you a million times. Now here's the thing with the hype. He came back to school senior year. His first or second game, the BYU announcers state clearly, he went back and studied. He went home and studied Aaron Rodgers. A couple of weeks later, he makes a simple throw up the sideline. Only Josh Allen can make that throw. A few weeks later, he makes a simple rollout right with a crossbody throw about 7 yards. Oh, that's Mahomes. Only Mahomes can make that throw. The pro day comes. He throws his pro day throw. Listen to the announcers. It's 60 air yards. Go listen. Go look at it. It's 52 air yards, guys, from catch point to release point. Okay? But they're hyping him. Go listen to the announcers also at his pro day. He throws a dart to the sideline on a little out pattern. They're trying to tell you that it's touch. BYU and his coaches knew he couldn't throw a touch. Go look at his film and go look at the 30 missed throws on vertical routes that Zach Wilson consistently missed. He was an overextended athlete, and he didn't have what it took to be drafted into the pros. I'm going to make Pickett easy the next year, right? Kenny Pickett was if you listen to his actual games, okay, because I listen and watch in every format, Every throw, the announcer would say, to a wide open Addison. To a wide open Addison. Okay? Guys are missing the point on how to draft quarterbacks. Okay? CJ Stroud is the only quarterback of the first few years that I passed on that's still playing in the pros. And as I said, Ohio State, great backing, great receivers, great everything around them. I wouldn't draft CJ Stroud with a first round pick now. Okay, and I passed on him back then. And if anybody out there would put a first round pick on CJ Stroud after what they've seen, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, now I've applied this to every quarterback. As I said, I look at every format. My my failures going forward, I'm going to mention a few. This is another great one, Shedeur Sanders. Led the country in sacks. You guys watch tape, guys? All he did was drop back and wait for a receiver to get open. Okay? Playing with an all-world college receiver, Travis Hunter. That's all he did. Okay? His arm is below average. Arm strength below average. Arm talent is below average. Decision making is there's nothing on film that said Sanders was a draftable quarterback, except his last name, guys. You know, and I'm as blunt as could be. He's an overextended athlete, just like Zach Wilson. He just isn't an NFL prospect, and I called it way before he was drafted. Also, when everybody said he was a first-round pick, and he dropped to the 5th round. This isn't politics as to why he dropped to the 5th round, guys. You know, he has a below average arm strength. He has horrible decision making. Okay, he just holds the ball forever, and that's what you get. You know, he just waits for his receiver to get open. This isn't going to work in the pros, guys. It's not. Okay, let's get to the next. Okay, Ty Simpson. I have him as an absolute bust, guys. Overextended athlete, throws one speed, has 0 touch, just like Zach Wilson. All he has is mechanics and footwork. He's the son of a coach. That's where you get stationary receiver after stationary receiver. He has so many missed vertical throws on film, and he has so many missed interceptions because his ball comes off at a low trajectory. Okay, a low trajectory consistently, and it is a feast for NFL defenders. If I say he had less than 10, 12 missed interceptions on film last year, this is another product of hype, guys. He came into the year not having started for a few years, sitting behind Milroe, okay. Sitting behind Milroe. Then he comes in, and all of a sudden he's the top quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in the league after 2 games. Yeah, guys, okay. He doesn't have the athletic ability to play in the pros, guys. Totally overmatched. He was overmatched in college, especially in big games. Now, I started doing the next year's draft, okay. Mateer's in the same boat. Moore is actually in the same boat, guys. There's quite a few quarterbacks in next year's draft that are in the same exact boat. They're just overextended athletes. Okay, this will not work in the pros. Okay, now I'm going to get to why the NFL misses. This is Tyler Shough. You need to look at reasons not to draft a quarterback, guys. Okay? You don't need to pump yourself up, look at highlights, look at stats. This is Tyler Shough. He had a long career. He was 25 years old. Age is not a factor, guys. Tyler Shough had injuries. Certain injuries are not a factor, guys. Broken bones are definitely not a factor. This was such a miss, it was ridiculous. Now, if you followed his career, he went through a lot. First off, he was recruited by the Oregon Ducks. He was a red shirt when Herbert was there. Okay. So the coach that recruited Herbert, normally you get like players, picked Tyler Shough. Okay. He played a year. He was injured consistently. Kid had bad luck. Okay. The kid has all the talent in the world, guys. 6'5", I believe. Great arm talent, to throw matches to play, speed, mobility, heads up, big time plays, hit factor. Everything's in this quarterback. I was on him when everybody was calling a 5th-round pick. I had him as the best quarterback in the draft. Okay? I still stand by that. Easily the best quarterback of the 25 draft. Why do the NFL consistently miss on quarterbacks? Okay? Age isn't a factor. Stats is not a factor. Win-loss record is not a factor. Certain injuries is not a factor. Okay? You need to look for certain things. The key one is arm strength plus arm talent. The ability to throw a touch, guys. Okay? That is where you find your NFL quarterback. You need to see it factor throws on film. You're drafting a quarterback to make 20 plays in an entire year, different than a game manager. Okay, literally, that's what you're doing. This is why the NFL constantly misses on quarterbacks. Now, I only gave a certain amount of first round grades since I started. Okay, I was out on a couple of first round quarterbacks in 24. I was out on 25 totally. I was out on 26. I'm going to talk about Mendoza and Ward a little bit. I'm going to start with Mendoza. Okay, Mendoza was undraftable at Cal. He also was a league leader in sacks the year before. Mendoza has major issues to his game. Mendoza only throws 3 types of routes, similar to Zach Wilson, by the way. But he perfected those types of route, and he does throw them with timing and touch. Mendoza does not maneuver in the pocket whatsoever. Mendoza does not extend plays with the pass. His work ethic is phenomenal. He's very bright. Mendoza was fully supported on the Indiana Hoosiers with a coach that built around his talents. Now, if you go look at Mendoza compared to the previous year's quarterbacks, the route trees were a little bit different. Again, building to your quarterback's strengths. Now, a lot of what Mendoza did against higher-end competition went away. Okay, again, what he did against weaker competition went away against higher-end competition, guys. Mendoza is going to need to learn how to do certain things in the pros that he did not do in college. He also never took a snap from center. So all those timing throws that he perfected, the out pattern, anticipation out, the back shoulder throw, the short vertical up the sideline, he threw like 90% of his throws outside the numbers, guys. Now you're going to have to take the majority of it, most of it from behind center. Okay, most winning pro teams do at least 50-something% of their plays with the quarterback taking the ball directly from the center. Okay, so he's going to need to do that. I don't think he was a high-end first-round pick. I like a lot of what Mendoza does. I wouldn't have taken him in the first round at all, but I had him as a late first grade. Now, Cam Ward, kid played 4 years of ball and was totally undraftable. Totally, okay? Cam Ward has major processing issues. He is a one-read and run quarterback. He was a turnover machine when it came to turnover-worthy plays after his first read was taken away. He's also a little bit too nonchalant for me, okay? I'm just not seeing it, guys. A lot of what he did in college, he's struggling with in the pros because that's not what NFL quarterback play looks like. Okay? Uh, Even his broken plays at Miami was scripted for him. He had a couple of touchdowns with the receiver, running along the back of the end zone both ways. He had two routes, basically a wide receiver option out pattern post that he hit consistently from both sides. It's a product of scheme, guys. Okay? He had one or two nice layered throws up the sideline on the same play, but he missed the same throw a little bit. There were major issues with Ward's game, guys. He was definitely overrated. I wasn't touching him also. Now, I'm not harsh on quarterbacks. I do the same thing for every single quarterback. To sum it up, you got to stay off the hype train, guys. Okay? Heisman winner means nothing. College championship means nothing. The main thing is level of support is huge. Absolutely huge when drafting a quarterback. Okay? If they have a lot of support, you need to be very wary that you have numerous deficiencies hidden. The main thing is height, weight, mobility, arm strength, arm talent. It factors throws. Footwork is not an issue. Mechanics is not an issue. They're correctable, especially with the amount of time the quarterback has played and the level of coaching that they've had. That's also not something that you need to put the top of your list when drafting a quarterback. It's nice to have great footwork and great mechanics, but I'm going to give you a couple of instances. I'm going to give you one in the 27 draft. If Mestamaker comes back, kid never played ball in high school. He has a plus arm. He has a good build. He's going to need help on certain things. Kid doesn't have great, he doesn't have great mechanics and footwork. You could improve on that. That's just an example. You got to look for NFL big time throws when you're looking at quarterbacks, guys. Now, everybody knows my favorite quarterback at 26. I'm putting everything on him. Drew Aller. I'll keep that one simple too. Why don't you like Drew Aller? Bad footwork, bad mechanics. Right, okay, guys. Kid who played linebacker has bad mechanics and footwork, and he needs to be corrected. He never had the proper coaching. He turns over the ball in big games. Okay, guys. Watch the actual games, watch the turnovers. I have a big thing with that. He threw an interception versus Oregon up this right sideline where he dropped back. The safety for Oregon was hiding behind a referee. Aller dropped back and threw a touch pass up the right sideline, which was an absolutely beautiful throw. And the safety came out of nowhere and took the play. Aller didn't see him, okay? Is he going to learn from that mistake? Definitely. But that was a great defensive play. Aller threw a third progression interception in a big game. He looked left, he looked right, he came back middle with a receiver. No, he looked left, looked middle, and then came across right, trying to grab a receiver coming into the picture. And he looked left, he looked middle, and he comes across right, receiver cutting right to left. He lowballed it, he threw it low on purpose, and the defender made an absolute great play. Go look at the Oregon game when he missed 16 passes. 5 of them were throwaways, 5 of them were miscontested catches, and 5 of them were drops. The decision making and the NFL high-end throws is off the charts, guys. Yet, the NFL totally blew this. He was going to be a first round pick, but he went back to school, got hurt, didn't have the support from his team, and he ends up going in the third round. The biggest steal at quarterback for who knows how many years, guys. I'll let it ride because I've been very consistent with my picks and I have a very high hit rate. The only two quarterbacks that I didn't like that are still that are playing in the pros right now were Williams and Bo Nix. And we're going to check back on those two. Okay, the same way we're going to check back on J.J. McCarthy, who I did like. And I'll put it out there, I'm doubling down on McCarthy, guys. I'm still not drafting Williams after what I see. He's fully supported, great coach, one of the best supporting casts that you could give a young quarterback in the NFL. Good offensive line, good everything, guys. I'm totally out on Williams to this day, and I'll stick by that. Bo Nix, guys, I wouldn't draft him again. I still wouldn't draft him, at all. I would rather put the draft pick, if I had a first round pick, I would send it to Denver for their coach rather than draft Bo Nix, guys. And we could talk about this all day. I basically just gave you my entire pick history. How many did I miss on? The only two that you could even attempt to say that are still playing are Williams, Nix, and CJ. And the only one that I took that hasn't played well yet is JJ. So out of the 5 years, 50 quarterbacks drafted, I got 3 or 4 question marks. That's 46% right. 46 out of 50 correct, guys. It's not luck. Let's look back at this in 2 years, see how the rest of my picks worked out. Take care, guys.